Hello, Taurus, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. I do have the tarot deck already shuffled that we'll be using, the clarifying deck already shuffled that we'll be using, and the advice deck that I will be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone. So remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Taurus. I think this is going to be a very positive reading. In your recent past, you have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So it's kind of a vague message because you have that the end of a tough cycle approaches with the world in reverse, which is like a cycle that's needing to end, kind of getting close to it, or you've been having a hard time closing out this cycle. And I feel like whatever this cycle is, it has affected your life pretty substantially. And I feel like this reading is about how to break yourself out of the cycle. Maybe you already have, and this is just confirmation for you. So bear with me. But in your current energy, you have adjustments are required with the Nine of Swords in reverse. So to me, how I'm seeing this is in order to break this cycle, there are adjustments that are needing to be made. But with the Nine of Swords in reverse, I feel like that energy to me is like getting out of your head. Like almost like sometimes when we are going through the process of stepping out of our comfort zone, which is what is required for us to break certain cycles, the first thing that you're going to experience is going to be fear, doubt, and insecurity. Because the reason that we typically stay in cycles that don't really serve us is because of fear, doubt, and insecurity. So it almost feels like working through fear, doubt, and insecurity, but not making decisions based on it is the adjustment that's required. Because the overall theme for the reading is I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. So this kind of to me feels like needing to know that you don't need to have all the answers right now. If you are feeling very stressed or concerned about how you're going to get there, if you're going to get there, when you're going to get there, I don't feel like this is a time in your life for having all the answers. In fact, I feel like that's a big part of you breaking this cycle is stepping out of that energy of needing to have all the answers, being able to lean on faith and lean on your spiritual guidance a little bit more to get you to where you're trying to go. Because in your immediate future, you have expect powerful change with the Sun card here, which is obviously some really positive energy. So to me, it feels like this Sun, this fulfillment, this happiness, this light is on the other side of this cycle. If you can get out of this cycle, the changes that are to come from it are very, very positive. But I do feel like the process of getting, kind of through the end of the cycle, because the closer you get to the end of a cycle, and typically why people find themselves repeating cycles is because as you get to the end of closing a cycle, things get more challenging. All of the lessons that you had to learn in that cycle seem to kind of come up at once, and you're going to have to learn everything that you've used or everything that you've learned, and you're going to have to use that to really close that cycle for good, because there's never a guarantee that we're going to close cycles, right? It's very, very often it happens very often that you see people kind of slip back into old patterns because they're comfortable and they're familiar, and that's where the control lies, and so on and so forth. So I kind of feel like you're in that phase right now of like knowing that you need to break a cycle, stepping out of your comfort zone in order to do that, but maybe experiencing quite a bit of the stress and the worry and the doubt and the insecurity and the fear that kind of comes with that process. So let's start, Taurus, by looking at your recent past. The end of a tough cycle approaches with the world in reverse. This is for Taurus's recent past, please. Taurus's recent past. end of a tough cycle approaches with the World in reverse. Something, there either was or still is something that you weren't being totally honest with yourself about. Maybe it could be like seeing something through the lens of rose-colored glasses, or just like ignoring the truth of the matter when it came to something. I feel like you were holding on with the Ten of Cups in reverse, this really being to me like holding on to expectations, holding on to potential. I feel like you were really holding on to this Ten of Cups in reverse and not being totally honest with yourself about like the truth of something, the reality of something. And I feel like that kind of kept you stuck in this cycle. Now, I want more information on this cycle, but I don't know what this is. And I honestly, it has to do with instability. It could be financial instability. It could be just like feeling like you don't have, both feet on the ground, just not feeling stable and grounded. I don't know. But then you have this Page of Wands in between this, which to me, this Page of Wands really speaks of inner child energy. So this cycle, I feel like, is one that was learned in childhood. But then there's this level of like, yeah, like not being fully honest with yourself, kind of repressing how you felt because you were holding on to certain expectations. Okay. Recent past for Taurus. Cycle that has been in your life possibly since childhood. Recent past for Taurus, please. Okay. So, yeah, okay, because there's the Page of Wands again. So what I'm seeing here is whatever this is, it either was like a part of your life for a really long time, or part of like certain expectations that were placed on you. Like something that I could think of is like as an example, like you got married really young because you thought that that was what you were supposed to do, but there's a part of you that doesn't really or want that, or that didn't really want that with that person, or something like that. I'm not necessarily saying that's the case at all. But it's something that whatever the cycle is, it's very much become your comfort zone. But at the same time, it's also holding you back. I don't know if it's a specific person. I don't know if it's a career path. It's like something that you did because you thought it was what was expected of you. Like and you had certain expectations of it too, thinking maybe it would make you happy, or maybe it would make you feel abundant or fulfilled or something like that. And that never really happened. And so it's almost like you've lost, like you don't have any excitement for it. There's no, I don't know. It's like complacency. Like that's the best way I can describe this energy. It's like you've gotten to a place of complacency with something, even though you know that it's not actually what makes you happy. And this is all your past, but this cycle has affected you for a while. And it could be talking about multiple areas of your life. Something you did because it was expected of you, but something that doesn't actually really fulfill you. That's what this cycle is. Okay. Recent past for Taurus, please. Recent past for Taurus, please. I don't know what this is talking about. And maybe it's being vague because it is a general reading and it's hard to know. Yeah, whatever this is though, whatever the cycle is, it is seriously holding you back from a new beginning here. Whatever this is, yeah, because there's the world in reverse. But yeah, your past is holding you back from some sort of new beginning that you very much want. Because it's the same world in reverse as right there, right? It's keeping you stuck in a cycle that's keeping you from a new beginning. Because it's become your comfort zone. Okay, let's shift gears here. Current energy. Current energy for Taurus. You have adjustments are required with the Nine of Swords in reverse. So what is the adjustment? It's like get out of your head and in like getting honest with yourself about what it is you really want. Current energy for Taurus, please. Four of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse. The lack of stability in your life is a product of and this is an interesting message, it's a product of lack of passion. It's almost like leaning on what isn't meant for you for stability, which then in turn creates instability because whatever is meant for us can't inherently be stable because, well, it's not meant for us. But it's something like you're not seeing something clearly. There's not, and that's the same thing that I'm seeing with the Ace of Cups in reverse, like something you're not being honest with yourself about, something that you're not seeing clearly. But it's holding you back. Something's holding you back. Someone, something. And maybe you know this because it's keeping you from taking certain action that you need to take, which is where the adjustment lies. Okay, current energy for Taurus. I'm glad I'm changing the way that I'm doing these general readings. And we're actually going to go back and clarify. So I'm glad because this feels, I don't know, like we need to get a little deeper here. Current energy for Taurus. You're trying to fit in instead of finding where you belong. That is the biggest thing here. And oftentimes, before you have, some sort of spiritual awakening, before you get on your spiritual path, we all kind of have this path that in a sense is like laid out for us. Like it's laid out for you by what your parents expect of you, by what you kind of thought was possible, with your limiting beliefs or what society expected of you. And it's just like this path that gets laid out for you. It might feel like you're choosing it, but you're not really choosing it. You're kind of just like, this is the way that I'm supposed to go because this is the way that everyone else goes, or this is the way that society has told me to go. And it feels like this path, whatever this is actually a cycle of trying to force yourself to fit in where you don't belong. And fitting in is the opposite of belonging. Belonging is when you find your people, when you find your place. And everybody has a place, but oftentimes a lot of people go their whole life without finding their people, without finding their place because they've spent so much time trying to fit in. And again, this can happen in relationships, it can happen in career paths, it can happen in just like paths in general. And so it feels like there's this need here, almost like to slow down. To slow down, because I feel like you keep trying to push to maybe like the next phase or the next step or the next outcome that you think is eventually going to bring that happiness and that fulfillment, but it never comes. And so you constantly find yourself feeling disappointed because you're like, well, that didn't feel like I thought it would. That didn't lead to what I thought it would. And it's because whatever this cycle is, it's a cycle of not being where you belong, of being held back from where you belong. This is so interesting. Okay, current energy for Taurus. I mean, I think like childhood friends, or like relationships in general that don't serve you anymore, or like a career path that, okay, yeah, literally, a career path that doesn't serve you anymore. I mean, so the Two of Wands in reverse here on the bottom of the deck, I mean, this is an energy of straight up being out of alignment. And there you are, is the Queen of Pentacles, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. But this is keeping you in a state of disappointment here. And ultimately keeping you out of the opportunities, away from, like, holding you back from the opportunities that are meant for you, that would lead here to this sun, to this powerful change. A lot of the earth sign readings, like, I'm pretty sure in every single earth sign readings, it kind of feels like it's been about course correction in a way, like shifting focus, shifting paths, walking away from what doesn't serve you. And it kind of feels like this one's very much in alignment with that. But I'm getting more the vibe of, like, stop trying to force where you don't belong. Like, that's kind of what is coming through here. But let's get more. All right, let's clarify. Let's start, Taurus, by clarifying your recent past. I want more on this Ace of Cups in reverse. So it's not being honest with yourself about something. Recent past for Taurus, clarifying the Ace of Cups in reverse. It's like not being honest about something that, like, doesn't make you happy, but like holding on to it anyway because you're afraid of the loss. So you're kind of being stubborn about it, but there's the sun, right? And then there's the Two of Wands in reverse, which we just saw with the Five of Cups. So whatever this is keeps you out of alignment with your fulfillment. It's holding you back. Which there's the Five of Cups, which we saw with the Two of Wands in reverse. It's like you're being very stubborn about it because you're afraid of the loss and the change associated, which makes sense because stepping, breaking cycles, especially one that has been a part of your life for a really long time, that's going to be very challenging because there's going to be a lot of change that comes with that. And change is very uncomfortable. And we often, as humans, we try to do anything and everything in our power to avoid that change. Recent past for Taurus, clarifying the Page of Swords in reverse. Recent past for Taurus, clarifying the Page of Swords in reverse. The attachment is keeping you in instability. And what is this attachment to? And it might be too vague, or it might be too specific for a general reading, but I want more on this Devil. Devil is keeping you in a place. I mean, this is technically in reverse, but I'm getting the same kind of vibe from it. But this Devil is keeping you in a place of instability. You're holding on to something for a false sense of stability, but yet it doesn't actually provide you with stability. It's really interesting. Clarifying the Devil in reverse. mean, okay, yeah, because there's the Fool in reverse. Like, so, and the Page of Cups in reverse is an energy to me of like not listening to guidance, not listening to divine guidance, not listening to your intuition or what you know, like what the part of you like knows you should be doing or what the right answer is. I don't know. It's so vague, but it is a general reading, so that makes sense. But whatever this is, you're holding on to it for stability, yet it's keeping you in instability. Clarifying the Fool in reverse. What is this holding you back, Taurus? What is this? Clarifying the Fool in reverse. It's like I want to know what it is, but like I just feel like it's going to be too specific for... No, it's this way. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. Whatever this is, because this isn't you. There's no Queen of Pentacles here, right? Your soul's tired because whatever this is, since it doesn't, and this is like this energy of you having to fit in. It's like it doesn't... This isn't you. It's like it requires you to show up as someone that you're not. And so that's why your soul's so burnt out from it, because it's like, I don't belong here. This isn't meant for me. So that's probably if you're like exhausted all the time or just like tired of something, some path, like this is what that is about. This is just something that is not, it does not align with you. Maybe it did at one point, but I don't know. It feels like it aligned with other people's expectations of you, not necessarily what it is that you wanted or desired. And maybe you thought you wanted and desired it because it was expected of you. Okay, current energy for Taurus. Ace of Wands in reverse. Something keeping you from taking certain action. Clarifying this Ace of Wands in reverse, please. It's keeping you from another opportunity. A better opportunity, which we already saw. Because, I mean, Taurus, there's a part of you that's kind of just going through the motions with whatever this is. There's no passion involved. There's no like purpose involved. It's just kind of, it's what you've always done, so it's what you're supposed to do. It's like what's expected of you, so it's just what you do, but it's not what you enjoy. But I feel like there's so much fear and doubt associated with leaving it behind that that's part of why you're holding on to it. It's again, you're holding on to it for that false sense of stability, but it's actually keeping you from stability. It's really interesting how it's all playing out, because this is a very like energy, like you're just kind of like going through the motions, just doing what I'm supposed to do. Like there's no like fulfillment really. And I'm not saying you're not fulfilled in some areas of your life. This could just be talking about one specific area, but clarifying the Six of Wands in reverse for Taurus's current energy. So there's the perspective shift that's needed, because you're very disconnected from yourself. The Two of Cups in reverse, it's like you're not in tune with yourself. And it's so interesting because we saw the Queen of Cups and Queen of Wands back to back, and now we're seeing the King of Cups and King of Wands back to back. So what I'm getting this as is, if you show up as someone that you aren't, which is whatever this is required of you, you're going to continue to attract what isn't meant for you. And it might feel like things are always falling apart, or like you're always losing, or you're always at a lack, or you're always finding yourself in the middle of drama, or like whatever the case is, it's because whatever this is isn't meant for you. And it almost feels like there needs to be a perspective shift on that, like a perspective shift on why you haven't reached this fulfillment that you've been looking for. I mean, this is brutally honest, but Taurus, I think you're looking for it in the wrong place. Or have been for a while. Maybe you're starting to shift to something different. Clarifying this 5 of Cups for Taurus's current energy. Current energy for Taurus, clarifying this 5 of Cups. Yeah, you're stuck on what doesn't serve you, which keeps you in this state of disappointment. You're stuck on what doesn't serve you. And maybe there's a part of you that knows it. And that's why there's this need to get like out of your head here with the 9 of Swords in reverse, is because if you're investing in something or someone or a relationship or whatever the case is because you fear what life would be like if you didn't have it, that's not a good reason to invest in something, because that's choosing fear as a motivating factor. And you want to make sure that you choose faith, because you are receiving guidance here on how to shift your life in a very powerful way. But there's a part of you that needs to let go of like those expectations that like everybody else has of you, and fight, like almost like forge your own way in some way, shape, or form, whether that's in a career or in a relationship or whatever the case is. It just feels like finding where it is that you belong instead of trying to fit in where you don't. All right, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. In your immediate future, you have expect powerful change with the sun. I'm going to pull cards and clarify them, and then I have an advice card to pull at the end. Thank you so much, Taurus, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Taurus.